What happened tonight? Woo! So, guys, it was me. It was me. I didn't watch the last two games. The first time, it was an oopsie daisy. I definitely could have seen it, but I thought that the game was going to be at 7 o'clock or around 7 o'clock. No, it was like at 1 in the afternoon, and so I totally could have seen it. And on Monday, yesterday, I went to go see my friends. I go out with my friends every Monday, and I was like, listen, sorry, I'm gonna take a day off from hockey. I've been so exhausted going to these games in person, watching them and talking about them and editing these videos with you guys. So I was like, I'm just not gonna watch it. It's fine. Yesterday's game seemed crazy. That final score of like 4-5, insane. The amount of happy that I am that I saw this game, that this is not like a score that I saw on my phone before I saw it with my own two eyeballs. I'm so happy. I'm so thrilled. It was so... It started off so plain. Period one, they spent 11 minutes with no goals. No goals for like 11 minutes. At about the 11-minute mark, Hughes of the New Jersey Devils gets a goal, and it becomes 0-1. It was a pretty fast-paced goal. Hughes manages to get right past the Tampa D-line and just I'm pretty sure he was the only Devil that was in Tampa's side of the ice, and he just rushed and made it past Johansson. I don't want to complain about the goalie, but Johansson is not on the same caliber as Vasilevsky. If tonight had not been as crazy as it was, because keep in mind, yes, Tampa got 8 goals, but the Devils got 5. Like 5 goals, like past you in a night is pretty bad. Like that's not good. That's not something to be very proud of. Anyways, the game continues, and Geeky tried to get a goal. He tried to get his first goal of of being in the NHL, but he doesn't quite make it. And I don't know why, but for some reason, Myers of the Devils was like pissed at Geeky, and like shoves him into the board, shoves him into the wall. Which, like, I don't need to tell you, if you have any experience watching hockey, like, it's a hard surface. Yes, you're wearing a helmet, but helmet does not protect your neck. Helmet does not protect your neck. Shoving somebody into the board is, like, it can cause some injuries. Like, this is not something to be played around with. Anyways, obviously, it's a boarding call. Myers goes to the box, and Geeky's fine. He's fine. But Tampa goes into a power play, and it's so awesome. Point manages to get a goal in the power play at about the 14-minute mark, and it becomes a tied game. And listen, that was the score going into the first intermission. 1-1. I was like, okay, that's fine. At least we didn't go into the intermission behind. Period 2 begins, and Myers, yes, that Myers, he was a pretty big player tonight, gets a goal during a line change on Tampa's behalf. And this would not mark the first time that a odd, like, just lack of, like, people where they're supposed to be leads into a goal. Yeah, Myers before even the 1 minute mark manages to get a goal. It becomes 1-2, and it takes another 6 minutes for a response by Tampa to get a goal. It is made by the captain, Hedman. He gets a slap shot. It is pretty beautiful. It again becomes tied. Up to this point, Tampa has not been ahead in a game during this road trip, and so I'm like, come on. we gotta get ahead. You gotta get ahead. You can't win the game unless you get ahead. So the game is 2-2, and 2-2. 2 minutes later, Hagel gets a slap shot goal, and finally, Tampa is ahead in this game. It's been like, it feels like forever since Tampa's been ahead in a game. Hagel, the way he gets the goal is pretty interesting. I know my chair is squeaking. He basically makes a shot that we see a million times. It never works, where you're just like, you're over by the blue line and you're just like, there's a lot going on in front of this goal. Let me just try to make this shot. He smacks the puck. It's a slap shot. And he somehow, the planets aligned and everyone was out of the way of the puck at just the right moment for that puck to get past all of them and then past the goalie. I don't know how a goalie could ever possibly protect from something that spontaneous to happen. And he didn't, because it went right past him. And finally, Tampa is ahead. It's 3-2. But Hagel's like, you know what? That's not good enough. 3.5 minutes later, he and Geeky, yes, that Geeky, there's a couple of players that were pretty important during this game. He and Geeky managed to, like, back and forth, get this puck out of their end with some help, but they get into the Devils' area, and it's basically just the two of them and the goalie. And Geeky has the puck. He pushes it to Hagel, and Hagel smacks that thing in, and it was so cool. It was the first point that Geeky has had in the NHL. It's awesome. Hagel immediately went and was like, yeah, you helped me with that. Grabs the puck out of the goal, or out of the post, obviously, and hands it to Geeky, and now Geeky gets to keep that puck. I'm sure Geeky won't feel quite complete until he has his own goal, but having a point and being so, like, part of this duo going into this goal, it was so awesome. And at this point, you'd be like, okay, Hagel gets a back-to-back goal, no goals in between. He's monumental in getting Tampa a 4-2 lead. 4-2 lead, oh my god, in the second period, halfway through the game, oh my goodness, awesome. Hagel could probably, hang out, sort of do some stuff in the back. Nope. Because almost 3 minutes later, Hagel gets another goal. And not only is it a hat trick, 3 goals in a game, it's a natural hat trick. Nothing in between his first goal, second goal, and third goal. Hagel single-handedly, in the span of about 7 minutes, brought the game from a 2-2 tie to a 5-2 3-goal lead. And so it's freaking awesome. This has been a fantastic second period, by the way. Besides the one goal by the Devils, Tampa has managed to get 4 goals in a single period. That's so awesome. So fantastic. Probably hang your hat up, right? What did they do for the other 4 minutes of the game? I'll tell you what. Hedman was like, oh, Hagel's getting all these goals. I'm the freaking captain. I need a mother effing another goal. I so like add more like reasoning behind this stuff. Obviously it's all like opportunity, but Hedman at 17:30 in the second period gets another goal. The game is 6-2 going into the second intermission. And you know me, I'm not superstitious. I'm a little stitious. I don't want to call the game for Tampa. Tampa has certainly blown 4-goal leads in the past. So I'm like, okay, you know what? Pretty optimistic. I'm pretty optimistic that Tampa's going to win the game. But just to be sure, I'm not going to mark it off in my little Excel sheet. I'm not going to, say in the Discord that like, oh, Tampa's won, congratulations. We're just gonna see, right? But I'm like, come on. Now, I will say before I move on, Devil's been pretty good this year. Before this game, my model of like how teams have been doing had the Devils in 6th place and Tampa in 10th place. They were tied for 1st place until the last 2 games with Ottawa and Toronto. But 10th place, not that bad. I mean, it's top 3rd, right? And so them being 6-2 against the Devils is pretty good. It's pretty good. I mean, it's not like it's Columbus or Chicago or Nashville. Like, they're a pretty good team. Devils are a pretty good team. Somehow Keefe managing to keep another team's head above water, pretty good. And so period 3. And listen, I know you are thinking period 2 was crazy. Period 2 was insane. Period 3 can't be any more crazy. No, it can be. And it was. About 3 minutes into period 3, Bastien manages to get a goal in what I can only describe as a battering of Johansson. I mean, Johansson got his ass beat, literally. Maybe not the ass part, but the rest of it, literally. I mean, he was getting smacked around so many times during this game. And so the Devils are just surrounding Johansson, just throwing the puck back and forth to each other, and obviously, when you have like 3 men around the goalie, you eventually get it in. So, Bastien makes the game 6-3, right? Okay. And I'm gonna be honest, I was like, okay, this is where it begins, right? Like that, yeah, Tampa had a pretty good second period, but first goal in the third period goes to the Devils. What happens 2 minutes later? Meyer, yes, that Meyer gets a goal on a power play. I don't remember what the power play was for, but he makes it 6-4. 7-4, and I'm like, oh my god, there's 15 minutes left in the game. What are we doing? What are we doing? I'm like, there's 15 minutes left in the game. You can't lose goals at this rate. I've seen this so many times with Tampa. I'm telling you. I've seen this so many times with Tampa. I was so worried. But finally, Johansson getting beat around finally came back against the Devils because there was a goalie interference call. Somebody, I don't know who, smacks into Johansson while he's trying to protect the goal. Johansson's in the blue. He's in the blue region. And somebody smacks into him and, like, shoves their elbow, and they go to the box. Keefe is pissed because the game right now is 6-4. The Devils obviously have momentum going on. They've managed to make a 4-goal lead for Tampa into a 2-goal lead with like 15 minutes left. So, you know, there's a lot of like conversation going on. Keefe's pissed off. Eventually they're like, okay, all right, you know, we're gonna carry on. This is obviously still a penalty for the Devils, but we'll see what happens. A face-off happens, and there's a goal. Like, it happens that quickly. Tampa wins the face-off, and before the camera has even moved away from the face-off angle, I didn't even get to see with my own eyeballs the goal that Getzel makes on the power play. It happens before the camera's even changed. It's like 2 seconds later. Getzel gets a very quick power play. And now, power play goal. And now, Keefe is like, dude, I didn't even agree with the penalty. And that made the game, 7-4. And so I'm like, okay, all right, cool. We closed off the Devils' momentum, or they did it to themselves, really, because they interfered with Johansson. Cool. Get a 7-4. Awesome. And this next goal. I'm telling you, the third period was insane. If you haven't seen it, which I don't know why you're watching this video if you haven't seen this game, because this game was insane. Please watch it when you can. Okay. Let me set this up right. 4 minutes later, so we're not even halfway through the period, which is making me nervous because I'm like, there's so much time for the Devils to come back. But there's a power play for the Devils, and I'm like, God help me. like, please. There's a power play for the Devils, and, it's going on. Somebody, of the Tampa, obviously, because it's, a power play, or, because they're trying to penalty kill, they smack the puck across the ice to clear it. I cannot imagine that Moser, who was the one who did it, I actually did write it down in my notes. I cannot imagine that Moser thought that what was about to happen was about to happen. He literally probably was just trying to clear the puck. The goalie for the Devils was not in the box. He was not in his post. From everything it seems like, and I've looked at the footage, it looks like when Moser tried to clear the puck, it hit the wall, and apparently this goalie never took geometry, because he never realized that when it hits the wall, what happens is it hits the wall and it bounces and goes the other way. So he's trying to follow the puck out of in the direction that the puck was, and the puck goes right past him and into the goal. So Moser manages to get a shorty, and although it's not called this, it was kind of an empty netter. Like, the goalie wasn't in the net. The net was empty. It's not an empty netter, but it was kind of an empty netter. I don't know. It was insane. I don't know that I've ever seen that before. At 9 minutes, 19 seconds, Tampa gets another 4-goal lead. It becomes 8-4, and I'm like, okay. I know 11 minutes is kind of a long time, but I don't. At that point, I was like, okay, all right. If they're doing that, I don't see the Devils coming back from this. Isamont gets a tripping penalty at about the 12-minute mark into the period, and Nissan gets a power play goal at 12:45, and makes the game 8-5. And the last kind of interesting thing that happened is Devils are obviously trying to come back from this 3-goal deficit, and Howla of the Devils, the puck is coming to him. They're right next to the goal, and he smacks the puck with his gloved hand, and it goes into the net. And for a split second, I was like, oh my god. I'm like, please, there's like 5 minutes left in the game. Please don't let them come back. But yeah, obviously you can't smack. I didn't realize at the time that it was smacked into the goal with his hand. It wasn't even called as a goal. It was immediately said, like, nope, not a goal. Which I'm sure Keith was so happy about that. I'm sure he was so elated to find out that their maybe last chance at trying to get, into overtime was, like, completely a non-starter. But yeah, that was the game. The final score was 8-5. Tampa 8, Devils 5. And according to my calculations now, obviously there's other teams playing tonight, but as of right now, Tampa went from 10th place to 6th place, and the Devils went from 6th place to 10th place. So they kind of switched positions. Devils are still a very good team. Again, like, although the game would have been completely different with Vasilevsky instead of Johansson, because everything would have been different, but momentums would have been different, but let's not forget that Johansson let 5 goals happen, and these were not like insane goals. These were not like insanely awesome or like insanely like would have happened no matter what goals. These were pretty basic goals. So I think this victory for Tampa says a lot more about Hagel and Hedman, and a lot less about Johansson as a goalie. Very rarely am I like, yes, I would prefer Johansson in the net than Vasilevsky. I know last year was kind of necessary for that to happen, especially early on in the season, but Johansson's not my favorite. Anyways, that was about it. I can't think of anything else I wanted to talk about. Obviously, again, I know it's my fault that we lost the last 2 games because I wasn't watching it. I'm supposed to be watching these games. And talking about it because, you know, I obviously make tons and tons of money and not absolutely no money at all. But I promise you, I'm not on purpose not talking about the games that Tampa loses. I just haven't been watching them. I just happen to not watch those 2. I'm going to try to watch the next game. I'm pretty sure the next game is on Thursday, and I've got nothing going on Thursday, so I'm going to try to watch that one. And if they lose, I'll be here and I'll talk about that. I don't know. Anyways, I tried to sign off. I didn't quite do it, but here I am. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.